Hello everyone, my name is Arizenjitsf. Welcome back to another video once again. And today I want to go back in the past a little bit of past release games. And I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan, and I decided to go back and play all the old, like not all the old ones, but all the other games that have been released that I have not finished. And I've recently finished Valhalla, which I'm going to talk about in another video soon, but today's video is going to be about Odyssey, and I want to talk about, my experience overall with the game. And to be honest, I felt like we kind of harshly criticized this game way too much and not gave it its fair chance, in my opinion. And I wanted to talk about the things that I've been doing on the game and how long I've been like grinding on the game and stuff. And starting with the overall setting, I think the setting is really interesting, and I like the whole sorry, the Greece and all that stuff, and I think it's a very cool concept. Granted, I understand that, when we talk about Assassin's Creed, you think about a person that, hides in the shadows and eliminates targets very quickly, then getting out type thing, not like a person that will fight on a battlefield. But we're talking about like time periods where, in lore-wise, when it comes to the Assassins and the Templars, they went through different phases in their life before they became what they are in the main timeline period of the modern day. That's my thinking process of how I believe, I believe that's what they were going for in these RPG type styles of Assassin's Creed. Because the first ever one that we got that was in an RPG setting is Origins, which I can't wait till I play that one next after I beat Odyssey. But I'm pretty sure that's what they were going for, because Assassin's Creed Origins is where they all began. Like, this is how the Assassins came to fruition, and how the Templars were a thing back then, and how they were first created as well, of these two different groups going up against one another for all these centuries and all this stuff in the millennia. And that's what I believe, that's what they were going for in this. Like, they were still going through different phases in their time period and gradually learning every step of the way, especially in Greek. So that's how I feel about the game and how I see it. Granted, when it comes to people that play the game way longer and experience the older ones, like, the first one with Altair, Ezio, Connor, Kenway, that type of thing, I can understand that it's very off-putting when you throw it into this new setting and now you have to grind, when usually all you have to do is just go and do the missions. Which, yeah, it may be annoying, but me personally, I think it's a perfect idea just to think of this concept when you are preparing for different missions. I think that's cool, because usually when you're an assassin, you have to get the right tools, you have to be prepared with different sets of skills just to make sure you're able to plan out your engagement and do these said things that you're going to do in this mission. I think Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla capulate that idea. When you are setting up for your mission, you understanding that you're probably going to face deadlier opponents, deadlier to contracts, and way dangerous enemies, especially higher up powerful people, and you need to prepare for these different engagements, not just for yourself but also for your allies as well, when you're upgrading them and giving them resources just to go up there and stuff like that. You also gotta level up a few times. I think that's pretty cool. I think that's a cool thing in Assassin's Creed. Now granted, can it be annoying? Depends on the person. It depends on the person. At first, I will admit, I was one of those people that completely disregard them because I was so used to the old way. I'm not used to, gathering resources and then doing the stuff after leveling up my gear and stuff. At first, I didn't like that. But after a while, when I never played them in a very long time, and then coming back to them and actually playing them the right way, and also I've been playing them all on easy because I really want to learn the story first. But after playing them for a good bit and actually getting a better understanding of the game, to be honest, it's really not that bad, and I felt like we kind of criticized them too harshly, in my personal opinion. And I believe that these games were actually very good Assassin's Creed games. Now, I'm not saying everyone thought they were terrible, but it was a good majority of people thinking that they were not Assassin's Creed because they don't act like assassins, or we had to do these different things and this doesn't feel like Assassin's Creed, which I can understand. It's a different formula compared to what we were given before in the different games and how we've played them and many other settings that we have went through in different Assassin's Creed franchise games. But I say we all should have been more open-minded to these type of concepts and try to be more investing into it and try and see if we would like them or not. Because I felt like a lot of people just assume that it's going to be terrible since you had to grind for resources and stuff like that, which, to be honest, it's not hard. It's really not hard. Especially when you do it on, I recommend playing the game on easy at first. If you think this game is going to be too hard because you have to worry about the resources and all that stuff, play it on easy at first. Beat the whole story on easy first. Get a better understanding of the game. And then afterwards, that's where you begin your journey of mastering the game and actually try it on different difficulties and see where you're at and try your best to do new things, new possibilities in the story, because granted, it's fun that way. Plus, the amount of options you have in that game, I feel like these RPG games gives you more freedom to make your own choices, and you're not just listening to what other people are saying. You're actually taking matters in your own hands. I just dropped something. You're taking matters in your own hands, and then you're actually deciding your own decisions, your own fate, and your own tactics and strategies. I was speaking too fast for a moment. But yeah, so I believe that these are things that we should keep more open mind of, and I really do hope that we get more stuff like this, because I think it's cool that we can do things like that. So I really do believe we should be more open-minded. Now, the gameplay of Odyssey, it's really good. The fact that I can, I don't know, just the idea of feeling more freely and being more divine is also really cool. Even though assassins, you could argue that, well, that's not an assassin because all they do is hide in shadows and stuff like that, and they don't have abilities. Well, if they don't have abilities, then I feel like that's wrong. Because, they have eagle vision, they mark targets and stuff, they have a very interesting perception and stuff, and they have ability to see blood markings on the wall and stuff, which is no other person can do. They've been treated like dangerous beings before, in the Assassin's Creed franchise. Especially, you see it way more in Odyssey, Origins, and Valhalla. You would see it more they're being treated as a divine person, but that can threaten human civilization. So that's what I think. That's why I think the whole God's perspective come into play and stuff like that, because they already treated interesting beings that could be very dangerous for the world, but yet they still fight to make sure they protect people around them and stuff like that. And that's how, so the Templars see them as a being that could harm the world, but also follow their plans of wanting, control and stuff like that. And I find it interesting, and I really liking this concept. And plus, the more you look into it, especially when you play the newer games, spoiler warning by the way, this is for the Assassin's Creed Mirage ending, so if you have not finished that, just skip past this a bit. In Assassin's Creed Mirage, Basim is the direct descendant to Loki. When you pay attention to the dialogues and stuff like that, and actually look at the ending and think about it, he's a descendant of Loki. And when you play Valhalla, they look kind of similar in a way. When you look at them, they look very similar. So you would think oh, maybe they're descendants of different beings from their time, and now they are this, and they still retain all the knowledge that they had over time, but they are just a different being altogether, which I think that is cool. I think that's cool in a way, and I like how it's portrayed. In my opinion, I think it's cool. So I feel like if they dabble more into that in a way, but also still keeping it to his identity of Assassin's Creed, I think that's a good concept. Even though it's very complicated, because there's a lot of different pieces you have to look for to understand the game. You really have to look into like the side objectives, gathering like mysterious pieces around the map, like interesting dialogues and stuff like that, just to really understand about the backstory of these events and these characters and stuff. But when you do it, it's super rewarding because it gives you a new perspective and you understanding each character. I even have all the books except for the newest ones, and when I beat all the games, I plan on reading the books and seeing what else can I learn in that time of the story and stuff like that, because I've watched the movie and everything, which I thought it was cool. It's not the greatest, obviously. I felt like they could have done better, but still, for their first attempt, in my person, it could have been a lot worse. But I think it's good. I think it's very good. So the gameplay, collecting resources, upgrading your gear, upgrading your ship, finding new weapons just to use from chests or from other bounty hunters and stuff like that and other enemies. It's a good concept. Good idea. Plus the idea of being hunted while you're like trying to play as an assassin type thing, so it's like playing like Assassin's Creed multiplayer, but it's in a single player game. Like you're getting hunted by the AI and you are trying your best to avoid them or figure out a way to ambush them before they ambush you. I think that's cool. Who could not like a setting like that where you are an assassin but you're also getting hunted as well? So it's like prey versus prey, or predator versus predator in a way, or predator versus prey. You try to flip flop. It's like cat and mouse type game. Isn't that cool? Like, I can't be the only one that thinks this. Like, I think it's a cool idea that you are an assassin, but also there are times where your actions have consequences and you could be hunted by said group of people or said group of mercenaries or bounty hunters. That's cool. That's a cool thing to even think about and place into the setting, because not only you have to worry about your main target and other enemies around, you're also adding a bit more pressure, and it forces you to be more creative in your engagement, to think thoroughly of your engagement of how you want to proceed going forward. There's been times where I've been ambushed by a bounty hunter, but there's way more times where I made sure that I ambushed them first before they get to me first. And I think that's really, really cool. It's really cool. I don't understand, like, how could you hate on a system like that? Now I can understand if you're playing it on hard difficulty immediately and you think you're the boss and stuff like that without, understanding the game first. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty frustrating, but I feel like if you get a better understanding, I feel like other people will enjoy the setting like that a lot more. Once again, it's just my opinion, and that's how I feel about it. I think it's awesome. I think it's very awesome. The gear system is really nice. I like how you doing clues and stuff. You've always been doing clues to Assassin's Creed, so it's not really new, technically speaking. It's just we have more of that in Assassin's Creed 1. Then they kind of dropped that off and brought it back around, I want to say, Origins. I'm going to do a bit more research on that, but I'm fairly certain that you had to search for clues and stuff like that for your targets, for like on the Templars and stuff like that from Assassin's Creed 1, and then they dropped it for a bit and they brought it back in Origins. Then they put it in Odyssey. Then after Odyssey they put it in Valhalla. Then after Valhalla, then they put it in Mirage. It's just how it was set up. It's just different each time because it was pretty easy just to find certain people on the map. Actually, I don't think you can count Valhalla. Well, no, you do, because you have to look. You have to find like random, like Order of the Ancients on the map. Which, like I said, they go through many different names before they got to the final name, which they're called the Templars. and you have to go around the map and look for them. It's the same thing in Odyssey, and sometimes bounty hunters can have clues related to the cultists, which that's what their name was back then. In the Greek world, they were called the cultists of the cosmos. And there are times that I found clues on a bounty hunter and then use that just to get to my target's location. Like, isn't that sick how there's multiple ways you can get clues from your targets? You can even buy, and there was a time where there was a cultist clue in one of the shops, and I bought it with drachmae, which is the currency back then, which I don't know how historically accurate that was per se, but I can look into that and see later on. And there was a Spartan's like tethered cloak. When I bought it, it unlocked a clue, which led to me unveiling one of their targets. And not gonna lie, that is sick. That is sick. Like, be for real, come on. That's something to really get into. It pushes your perspective to like, how can I find this person? What clues may I find? And plus the game will even like throw you a boner there or two saying, hey, you're nearby a clue. Look around, there's a clue nearby you. We're not gonna tell you where it is, but it's near you. You should look. And that's awesome. And not only that, if you want to be fully immersed, you don't want the game holding your hand at all, that is the thing that you can do. Isn't that awesome? Where you're having more control of the game and how you're playing it. Like, you can have the game guide you like all the way, you can have it guide you partially, or not at all, and you're just diving in your own perspective, thinking of where you can find these things, and you don't understand. That is pretty awesome. So more of that is needed in Assassin's Creed. Like, finding out your targets, learning about what they're doing, learning their weaknesses is another thing too. I like how in Odyssey you can figure out what their weaknesses are and what their strongest thing is, or what they're not affected by and all that stuff. I think that's cool. I feel like it could be more of that, but that's a hit or miss. Not everyone probably wants that, but me personally, I liked it a bit because it gives you time to like strategize and see. Or what they could do is when you reach the target's location, you just like stalk them and see what their habits are and understand what they're doing and what their weaknesses could be, and then you exploit it immediately at the chance you are given. That's cool. That will be sick. That would be cool. So that's just my opinion. I think that was cool. So other than gameplay, let's talk about story. Now granted, I have not beaten Odyssey yet, so this is from like, you know, I'm like on episode 7 on Odyssey if I'm not mistaken, so I'm getting there, but I'm not entirely done with the game yet. So this is just impressions so far. The story is pretty cool. I like the idea of family lineage is coming into play here, and it's like something that you be more mindful of, because family trees and family branches and lineage has always been a thing in Assassin's Creed. They always emphasize this a lot in this franchise, because it's basically like two different groups with different bloodlines going up against, you know, this group versus that group. That's basically how it is per se. And the Templars are always like those type of people that always like just has more people just to replace them. It's like a Hydra. Like, you cut off one head, 2 more grow back. That's basically how the Templars are. They just continuously coming back with new faces, new, more powerful people than the last. And it's up to the assassins to keep on fighting them and keep taking out these targets. But the more they do so, they just keep coming back with different like ideas with different people, and they just keep on coming. And when it comes to the assassins, they're just family lineage, like from these like group of people coming down from generation to generation, still fighting the same group of people. That's basically how it is. So that's cool. So the story is basically, you know, family, like the family is special and they're trying to use them against one another, so that's how they can be killed off, and then the cultists of the cosmos will succeed in their plans of taking over the Greek world. So it's up to either which character you pick. Is either Cassandra or Alexios. I chose Cassandra as the main character, just to, because it's just me being me, to be the main character and actually go and save and reunite the family in a way. Remember, and this is all like a bit of spoilers, but the game's been out, so I'm pretty sure everyone has played it by now, obviously. Like, come on, man, that's cool. It's like family and lineage going up against one another and stuff like that. I don't know what the ending is like for Odyssey. I can't wait till I get to that point and beat it. And then afterwards, I'm really excited to play Origins, because I've been dying to play Origins ever since I gave Valhalla a chance and started like playing them all and actually beating. Ever since I beat Valhalla, it opened a new perspective for me as an Assassin's Creed fan, and I want to experience more of this and what we have missed out on as a community a little bit that likes this franchise. And we criticize Ubisoft and all that stuff, which certain stuff has happened, but besides the point, I feel like we've missed some things in Assassin's Creed. Oh my god, talking so much. As we go on, I feel like we missed some things, so I wanted to go back and experience what we probably have missed and see if I can find anything and have fun with it. We probably have found like a whole bunch of stuff already in these old games, but I haven't really looked into it because I've been spoiler free for so long. I'm like, dude, at this point, if I don't know the endings of these 3 games, it's gonna haunt me forever, and I want to know the endings to these 3 games. So I'm gonna do it. And I beat 1. I just got 2 more to go, and I'm in the middle of playing Odyssey. But that's the story so far that I have an understanding of in Odyssey. This is without spoilers, and hopefully I can beat the game in time so I can get a better understanding, and then I could do maybe a whole overall review of all 3 of them and give my 2 cents on it. All right. What else can I talk? I mean, to be honest, I'm just categorizing it in general. I could go in depth, but I don't want to per se until I fully understand the game. At least understand all 3. First, I'm beating every single all 3 of the game's story, and then I'm gonna try to master all 3 of them. That is the plan. So hopefully that would be an interesting journey. Maybe I can record that as well. That would be awesome. All right. What else can I even talk about? I mean, I like how you can change the appearance of your armor. This is going back to gameplay again. Like, you can still change the armor. You know what? Let's talk about the combat system. I like the parries and stuff like that, the dodge. So that you don't have a stamina bar in Odyssey, but you did have a stamina bar in Valhalla. And playing Valhalla and then going backwards to Odyssey, it kind of messed me up a bit because I'm so used to having a stamina bar since I've been playing so many hours onto that game. It's something that I was not used to, so I had to get the Valhalla system out of me and bring in a new perspective of Odyssey. Took me a bit, but I gained a better understanding of the game, and plus I like the skill tree in that game because it's smaller, it's more condensed, but when you have way more, being more broad in Valhalla per se, I kind of like how you have a crazy amount of skills that you could do in Valhalla, which means your creativity is basically endless. In Odyssey, it's not endless, it's very narrowed if you want it to be narrow, or you can mix it if you can. which I've been doing a bit, and it's really good. It's fun. I like it. So the skills in that game is really nice, and Odyssey is just super. I like their skills. It's really cool. So skills, the armor, everything, it's good. And plus the overall setting, everything, how it looks, it's so majestic. Like, it's one of those games where you could just go back and just sail, and you can marvelize like what you've done in this game. And as a fan, I'm pretty sure a lot of people had just going back to the older games, and it's just like, man, this was so fun at my time. I can't believe I done this. I mastered this. I did this, and I came a long way as a fan of this franchise, and how I kept going. I kept going and keep on like doing more things on like the newer games. Seems like new challenges await, and I can't wait to test myself on them. Like, that's something I think of every day, and I believe other people are too when they play these games. Like, this is like, you know, a deeper perspective, because everyone has a big attachment to this game. Because I remember in 2012 I played my first ever Assassin's Creed game. I jumped into this franchise around Brotherhood was released, which was 2012, and I was so captivated by this game, and I was like, is there more of this game? And it turns out there was. There was Assassin's Creed 2. There's so many. There's 1. It was so amazing on my first time ever experiencing all 3 of them. Now bring it back to Odyssey. I believe that we criticize these 3 games way too harshly, and I think we all should go back and replay them. I think it will give us a better perspective around that time, because I felt like, you know, it's new, everyone's gonna be like, yeah, I like it, no, I hate it. Like, everyone was split. But I feel like we all should like come back to these games and see we have a different perspective about them. Now, if you still don't like them, that's fine. It's totally fine. Your opinion is always valid. But I believe these 3 games, I feel like we criticized them too harshly. I believe they still kept the identity of Assassin's Creed. It's just the story is being told in more of a deeper perspective. Because it's not, because we always thought that it was like human type thing. No, they're more than human. Because, you know, gods and stuff like that are a thing. And being descendant from different gods as an assassin is pretty cool. Imagine a Templar that's like a descendant of an eviler god and all that stuff. Wouldn't that be cool? Like, if they could still maintain the identity and add gods into the thing, I think it still would be an amazing game. But that is my opinion. This is my overall experience of the game so far. I believe we criticized them too harshly, and I believe that we all should revisit these games and actually try to give them a second chance and see if we like them or not. But that'll be all for me here today. This has been Arizenjitsf. Please leave a like, subscribe, and share my videos out and see if other people enjoyed them and like them. And I believe we all can continuously do more of these together, and let's see what it brings us. Take care, my fellow Ronins.